Dude, you see the red mark right here?
Yeah. Dog?
No, that was Dave's cat. He bit me on Sunday night. Hey guys, welcome back again to the Zeal Cigar Review. Today we're talking about an overwhelming, we don't even know cigar, new from Camacho. All next on the Zeal Cigar Review.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I know you are. I know you're excited because this is a Broadleaf.
Dude, I love Broadleaf cigars.
This is Camacho's brand new Broadleaf cigar.
Dude,
and
everything about this looks beautiful.
It does. I will say that.
The band is just so nicely. It looks like it belongs. Like, it looks like you're supposed to smoke it with the cigar, almost. Like,
yeah.
I like it.
This is touted as a bold smoke, medium to full. It's touted as a delicious smoke, supposed to be full of flavor, but full of strength. So this is supposed to be a cigar smoker's cigar. Now, I've smoked more new releases than I can shake a stick at. I hope this is up to par with what Camacho has done in the past, because most stuff Camacho puts out is really good, and I really do enjoy it. But when it comes to Broadleaf, I got the Broadleaf King right here next to me, so he's going to be able to tell us how good this cigar really is. But in order to do that, you know what we got to do? We got to cut, light, and smoke!
It looks like a lighter smoking, like a smoother smoking Broadleaf off of Rip, though. Because, like, you got like the Tabernacle, which is, like, super dark and rich. Is it spicy?
Yeah, taste it. Yeah, taste it on the palate. Right away, you get a little bit of a... little pepper.
Little bit.
Little pepperish.
A little bit.
I'm just telling you, man. Get a little pepper kick on that one. But I'm willing to give it a fair shake and see what it turns out to, and how it all pans out.
A little bit of spice on that dry draw.
It's a spicy meatball. Yeah, it's full. Yeah, it's full. Just from the jump, it's full.
Which is interesting because it's Honduran and Dominican fillers, so you wouldn't expect it to be super overpowering.
Yeah, you imagine that, like...
Although Christoph puts out some pretty strong stuff that's Dominican.
Sure. Yeah, there's some spice on this for sure, just from the jump. Ooh.
So barnyardiness to it.
Ooh, yeah. On the retrohale, good amount of pepper on the retrohale. Maybe a 6 on this one. Maybe pushing 7 a little bit. But that pepper gives way to a lot of cocoa. And maybe a little bit of coffee on there as well. Like a dark, rich espresso. Smoke is generous. Smoke is very, very full. Like, it's pluming, if you would, out of the cigar. And it's sweet and creamy.
That spice is different, man. That's a... Because it sneaks up at the way in, too.
Yeah, it's on your tongue and it's in your nasal cavity.
But so is that sweetness. It stays.
Yeah. I would say it's like a cocoa sweetness, like a chocolate, like a dark chocolate sweetness,
like a rich mocha.
Yeah. Oh yeah, rich mocha-ish. Yeah.
Maybe without like the cream in it though, or without the milk in it. Just the espresso and the. I mean, I'm not as far in as you yet, but it's a very interesting balance of sweet and spicy.
So let me ask you a question. Compared to the McAuliffe Black, would you say this is less sweet?
It's a different sweet.
Yeah, more caramely chocolate.
Where that was, the black would be a lot more of like a richer, thicker chocolate. This has a little bit more of that like earthy barnyard, lighter cocoa. But this it's got a unique spice to it, man. Kind of like what you would, like when you smoke some of my father's and you're just like, but it's not the same kind of spice, but unique in that way.
Yes.
Not the same as my father, just unique in that way.
Yeah, it's probably a more unique spice from Camacho than I've ever seen before. Most definitely. I've never tasted a Camacho like this.
I was almost gonna say it reminds me a little bit of the Unleashed Corojo. No. Not as... That was a spicy stick, but yeah, it's different.
I believe with this, this is going to be a regular production for them as well. This won't just be a kind of a one-and-done thing, but some things that Camacho's done in the past is a lot of limited-time releases and so on and so forth, but this tends to be something they plan on having stick around for a while. I can see why. So we're just in the first third of this. We're going to come back here in a second and tell you about the second third in a minute, so be right back. Well, guys, we're back, and we're into the second half of the second third of Camacho'S Broadleaf. JB, tell me your experience so far.
It's it really has been pretty consistent for me. The only thing that changed really drastically is I would say it got a little sweeter. There's really prominent some like barnyardy notes that continue to come and go, but it's a really, really well balanced sweet and spicy cigar.
This is probably the best cigar that Camacho's ever put out, hands down. This has been my favorite Camacho I've smoked. So it's like the Triple Maduro and the Corojo got together and had a baby. I think it's, like you said, it is the absolute perfect balance of sweet and spicy. I think it's, although the pepper has really waned at this part a lot, so it's very, very sweet, very cocoa, very coffee-esque, slight leather, a little bit of wood that I can't really identify, to be honest, but it's very, very, very good. I can't believe how good this is. And to be quite frank, I didn't have a ton of high hopes for somebody bringing out another Broadleaf. Seems like everybody else has, and they all have been pretty good. So even being late to the game, I think Camacho has a home run so far, and I really, really, really do like it.
Well, I think what's interesting about this too, like what you said about everybody's broadleaves right now, like Alec Bradley's broadleaf's really good. It's just I think this is a very different broadleaf. Mm-hmm. So like we had the unicorn broadleaf for a while, right? Mm-hmm. And to me, that cigar was very underwhelming. Mm-hmm. This is like what I would have expected out of that cigar. Mm-hmm. This is like that cigar, but with some added flavor and pepper to it and spice.
I think that, yeah, so the pepper kick weans off in the first third. You get in the second third is a lot more sweetness here. I will say that the pepper is still there and it still does linger a little bit on the tongue and a little bit in the nasal cavity, particularly in the retrohale, but it's not overwhelming. And I'd say the pepper is probably at a 4 or a 5 versus like a 6 or 7 when you begin. But it's a very, 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 very good cigar. I mean, I'm super, super excited for it. And to be quite honestly, I'm very surprised. I didn't think this would be Camacho's wheelhouse to really do a broadleaf, but this is absolutely phenomenal, in my opinion so far. So stay tuned. We're going to come back and smoke the final third and let you know what we think in a second. So be right back. All right, guys, we're at the end of this beautiful Camacho broadleaf, and I got to tell you, it is a sweet satisfaction to smoke. It really is delicious. I will say the pepper came back a little bit at the very end, but like the balance of the sweet and the pepper is absolutely on point 100% in my opinion.
I said this to you off camera, like I think after the first third, and I was like, man, it's got a really weird Cuban-esque barnyardy to it, though.
It's just, rarely do I get a cigar that I had so low expectations for that blows my mind with the flavor. And I think you said it best at the very beginning of the video, JB, and it's the perfect balance of sweet and spicy.
Yeah.
Not overwhelming on the pepper, not underwhelming on the sweetness. It's the perfect balance. It's a very, very, very good cigar. So I believe that go ahead, sorry.
It kind of reminds me of the Red Sage, but with like way more cocoa.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's more chocolate and a little more coffee in this one.
And less I would say less earthiness and gear it more towards like a barnyard.
Okay.
Like an old hay, not like a fresh molasses hay, not like a fresh alfalfa, like an older grass hay. And
truth be told, I'm a Camacho fan. I think Camacho does a great job with all their cigars. I absolutely like the cigar. So let's give it a value score. I mean, it's not even out yet. It's coming out later on. I don't even know
what the price point is.
I believe it's like $9.50 to $10 somewhere in there for this cigar for the Toro size, which I believe we smoked. So at the $9.50 mark, like $9.50 to $10, what would you say the cigar's value is?
Give it a 7.8.
Okay.
Give it a 7.8.
Why? And I say, why so low?
Yeah,
I didn't expect that.
I figured that's what you were gonna say.
Yeah.
Because I'm unlike you. I go in with expectations when I see broadleaf on something.
Okay.
So my score's tainted by my own probably expectations that were unreal and set.
Okay.
But it's really good, really solid smoke, and I think there's a lot of people that are really gonna like it. But for me personally, if I had just a little bit more from it, I would have gave it a little bit higher score. For me, I know you're gonna like it a lot.
I'm going to easily give it a 9.3.
Ooh.
It's
okay.
It's surpassed everything. The reason I'm dinging it, not giving it a perfect 10, is I thought the very beginning was a little too peppery, and it could have been less, but the second and final third have absolutely wowed me in ways that I've wanted other Camacho's to wow me, and they kind of fell short in some spots. This fulfilled everything that I thought Camacho could do.
Okay.
And it's very, very, very good.
I think my palate just prefers a more rich sweetness.
Okay.
Whereas this is more of like a lighter sweetness with a rich spice.
Yes, I would agree. I would agree.
A Habano smoker is gonna love this cigar. A Habano smoker that wants something a little sweeter, a little bit more balanced, is gonna love this cigar.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you probably haven't smoked this yet, but you will soon.
It's good.
So drop a comment below if and when you smoke the Camacho Broadleaf, and let us know your thoughts on the Camacho Broadleaf. For the Zeal Cigar Review, I'm Bradley, this has been JB, and we're out of here like last year. Peace.